Welcome Ms. Toit Tanton, which is our presenter for the evening. She is the coordinator for adult education from Student Management and Alternative Programs. So welcome, Ms. Tanton.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Right. Do you mind? I have rights to share, correct? Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Toit Tanton. I'm the coordinator for adult education. Give me 1 second. Let me find all my controls here. So the adult education program has been around Prince William County Schools for about 30 years. We accommodate students who are looking to attain, acquire competencies necessary to further their education, employment, and personal enrichment. We offer classes to people who live in Prince William, Manassas City, and Manassas Park. We also offer classes to those students who are incarcerated in the adult detention center in Manassas. The two largest areas that we have classes, which is English language classes, which we offer those to 6 primary levels, everything from beginning through advanced. And we also have high school completion courses. First, I'll go over some of the English language courses. Can you all see, is my little thing covering the top of this?
You're good. We can see it.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. I have controls that's covering everything. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So for the English language acquisition program, they use things and topics for adults. They help them to try to learn more about their personal information, being able to speak to that fluently in English, school, work, family, transportation, health. They try to give you things so that you can equip you with ways to communicate your needs and family life easily. So that's the best way to describe it. And like I said, in order to do that, we provide instruction that is fluid for what you need. We pre-assess the students as they come in. We determine your level based on your test scores, and then we give you some counseling as to those classes. Feel like I'm missing something. I'm sorry. So we also have high school completion programs. We have 2 things that we offer. We have GED preparation programs, as well as National External Diploma Program. For the GED preparation program, we have classes just like in English. We have them both in person and virtual. We offer classes in the morning and in the evening. The good thing, or the newest thing we have for the GED option, is that instruction is offered in both English and Spanish. Now, the pre-assessment is just English only, but once you get past the pre-assessment, instruction and testing, the GED tests is offered in both English and Spanish. For those of you who may have taken GED tests before, the GED test is set into 4 areas. That is language arts, social studies, math, and science. You have to pass all 4 subject areas in order to earn your GED. If you have started taking some of the tests but haven't completed them, they still count. The tests count as long as the test hasn't changed. So the last time the test changed was 2014. So if you have taken some part of the GED test since 2014, then those tests are still valid. So for example, if you've taken language arts and passed it with a score of 145, and you didn't get a chance to take the remainder of the other 3 tests, that's fine, because that language arts test is still valid. Hope that makes sense. If not, I will leave room for questions, or they'll tell me if there are some in the chat. We also offer the GED standalone distance ed, which is 30 days for $30. What that means is that students for $30 are able to log on to, there's a virtual platform that allows you some tutoring or remediation for you to get ready for the GED tests. The cost of the GED test are $36 per test. And like I said, there are 4 tests. In order to participate in the GED standalone distance education, there's a mandatory information session. It's only 1 hour, in which we have one of our instructors go over what that looks like, what the platform is that you would use, and get you access to that. So that's one option. The preparation classes themselves are at a total of $175, but that also comes with the book. After you've completed a high school completion class, you will receive what's called a GED Ready voucher. And it's just a voucher for you to test to see if you're ready to take the GED test. And based on that, you might receive another voucher for the test. So there's that. The other option we have for high school completion is the National External Diploma Program. So now where the GED test is a time test that students take, the National External Diploma Program is self-paced and is competency-based. So it's not timed. Students are able to complete that over a period of time. It usually takes students, honestly, for a National External Diploma Program, or we call it NEDP, usually takes them between 8 months and a year. And it's again broken up into the same subject areas: language arts, math, social studies, and science. And what happens is the student is able to work their way through. I can tell you that one of the things that a student must be is employed in order to participate in. Now, the cost of that is a little different because of how it's set up. So the cost for the National External Diploma Program is $800. And that is, like I said, for 8 months to a year to work on it. After that, if you exceed a year, then it's a $200 quarterly cost. And similar to distance education, in order to participate in this program, there's a mandatory information session that students must go to, where again, we'll have one of our instructors go over NEDP, what it looks like, the different areas, give you some examples and things like that. We have some other classes that we offer. We have what are called, one class is called Bridging. Bridging, for those students who have been our English language learners, have taken classes for a period of time and are now looking to attain their high school completion or GED. We have a bridging class. We have a English for communication and academic skills, which is just that. We move more from conversational language to learning more academic language. Community engagement, which has some citizenship and civics education in it. We also have classes that we offer that are called IETs. And IET means Integrated Education and Training. It is like the adult version of a CTE or a vocational program. With these classes, a student can earn an industry recognized credential. So what we offer is like Microsoft Office Specialist. After you take the courses, then you take an exam, similar with customer service and sales, entrepreneurship and small business, and guest service goal, which focuses on the hospitality industry. So those are a few of the IETs that we offer. We also offer, I'm sorry, I needed to go back. Some of the other classes that we offer are digital literacy classes, which include but are not limited to some other areas for digital literacy like Word, Excel, getting acclimated to your email, Outlook, and things like that. We do have some workshops and some job readiness classes or workshops that we offer. Those are run 2 times a year, and those are at no cost, but those fill up awful quick with students, because I believe the maximum amount of people that we can have in those classes are 15 to 20, depending on the space that we have. We've held some in the fall. We're looking forward to having some more in the spring for the job readiness classes. That would include resume writing, interview skills, what jobs you're looking for, those types of conversations and that type of training. So we have a lot to offer in adult education. We also have some teaching opportunities. So if you've already earned your high school credential and have a bachelor's degree and you think you would be interested in teaching, we'd love to have you apply to teach. We are also a Pearson VUE test center. We offer or deliver over 140 tests. So Pearson VUE is the platform, and you can take like Amazon Web or Pharmacy Tech, VCLA if you're a teacher, or different things like that. So we have a couple of different options. So here are the links to our website. So in order to see what our classes that we have and to register for our classes, you would go to the pwcs.edu website and /adult ed. If you wanted to email us, our email address is adulted@pwcs.edu. And if you wanted to reach us by phone, the phone number is 703-791-7357. This is my class schedule for some, excuse me, I apologize. For spring session, it's broken up into session 3, which begins January 22nd, and session 4, which begins on February 12th. I'll leave that up and I'll open up for questions because I'm sure you have some. I gave you a lot of information. What kind of questions do you have? Is somebody speaking, Yannette?
No, I'm trying to see if you have any questions, and if you don't necessarily want to speak, you can always type it in the chat for us and we'll look at it, and then we'll try to answer your question.
Okay. So while they are typing up their questions, I would say the first thing that a student would need to do is using our website. They would go to the pwcs.edu/adult ed, and you would look for the registration information. And that first thing is to complete the contact information form. After that, you would immediately receive 2 emails. One will tell you that what's coming next, and the other one is to give you the dates for our assessments. Like I said, we're currently enrolling for spring session. So we have about approximately 9 more dates or 9 more opportunities to register for spring session available. So you schedule an appointment with us using one of the links that we provide. After that, you'll receive notification because it comes up as pending. Then we'll approve it. Then you get notification that it's been approved. Then you will actually attend the assessment appointment. For English language learners, the pre-assessment takes about an hour and a half. And for GED assessment or high school completion, it takes about 3 hours because you're taking both the reading and math assessment. After you've taken your assessment, we provide counseling, looking at your scores, and then we help you pick out classes, and then we give you an opportunity to pay for your classes on the spot. Although we give you the opportunity to pay for classes, you have up until 2 weeks before classes begin, before you have to pay for classes. And like I said, for both the GED and English language classes, there are free books that come with those.
Oh, we
Any
have a
questions?
question in the chat. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
No, that's
So
fine.
one of the questions that was asked is, how about if we just have a temporary certificate from the country we came from?
So like you have, as long as you have an ID that has your name and birth date, I believe that would be fine in order for you to register for classes.
That was a good question.
That is a great question.
Any other questions? Another question came in is that if ESL, I guess, start classes, do you provide a virtual option for them?
We do. We do. I know I only mentioned that for GED, and I apologize. Yes, we offer an in-person and virtual option for our English language classes, and we have morning classes and evening classes for them as well. So our morning classes typically are from 9 to noon, and our evening classes are from 6 to 9 p.m.
And can you repeat how much the classes were?
Sure. The classes for the non-IET classes for just the GED prep and the English language classes are for a 90-hour class, $175, and you do get a book.
And 90 hours, is that how many weeks roughly?
So if I'm looking at the, so these are 90-hour classes. So January 22nd through March 18th, 4 days a week. Or if it's 3 days a week, it's a little bit longer. So this is what the actual schedule looks like for spring.
These are great questions. Do you guys have any other questions for her before she moves on? I think we're good.
All right. Well, I do hope that this was fruitful information for you. Thank you all so much for having me on. I have some contact information here, if you all wanted to reach out to myself or my lead ESOL teacher or my lead at the ABE is Adult Basic Education, GED, or National External Diploma Program. So here is our contact information. If you wanted to email us, I'll give you an opportunity to jot that information down. And then we're here if you need us.
Thank you so much for Ms. Tanton for joining us tonight. We are going to put in a link in the chat for you to provide us some feedback on this session tonight, and then any future sessions or recommendations you make for future sessions. I am also going to send a follow-up email to you all that joined tonight with the presentation, as well as Ms. Tanton's contact information and the video recording for this session tonight. Thank you everyone so much for joining us tonight. Ms. Tanton is from Student Management and Alternative Programs, and so thank you to them for joining us for this evening. Thank you all
for having us.
Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.